What are the essential habits and mindsets for reinvention?
Yeah, just a few that I'll share here. I mean, there's so many, but one is the growth mindset. This is incredibly important for reinvention because chances are, if you're considering a reinvention, it's some sort of pivot that is probably pretty significant, compared to what you're doing today, relative to what you're doing today. So that means that you are going to probably have to learn a few new skills and grow in a way that you have not yet been challenged to grow. And that's exciting. Especially if you have the growth mindset. If you have the fixed mindset, you might say, no, I'm just a math person, or I'm just a writing person, or I'm just this person. And when you say that, you fix yourself, you lock yourself into this one thing. And so when you have a growth mindset, you are open to I suck at this today, but maybe I'm a few lessons or a few classes away from getting better at that thing, or at least understanding it a little bit better. And so the growth mindset is going to be really important as we start to explore new things. Plus, if you think about those 4 strategies, new people, new passions, new perspectives, and new questions. To test new passions, you're definitely going to need a growth mindset, because if you've never danced before, you're probably going to suck the first few times. If you've never cooked before, you're probably going to suck the first few times. If you've never played golf before, you're probably going to suck the first few times. So in order to embrace that, the growth mindset really helps you with that. The other thing, let me just pull up my notes here. The other thing that it comes to with habits is build, measure, learn. So the build, measure, learn mindset or framework is one where anytime we have an idea, we run an experiment. And then when we run that experiment, we stop to measure and see what worked and what didn't. And then finally, we learn from those measurements. And then we try again. And the build, measure, learn cycle is a way to just constant and never ending improvement. We're constantly figuring out what worked, what didn't. We're learning something about it, and we're making a change. And then that change that, begins the cycle again for a new experiment. And we continue to do that. That mindset for me has been critical on the journey to reinvention, because as long as I see the world as opportunities for new experiments, I know that I am just a few build, measure, learn cycles away from making it possibly work. I know that it's not going to work the first time, but I know if I start now and I can run 5 to 10 of these cycles on any idea I have, I'll probably get it to a workable place. Does it mean I want to pursue that for the rest of my life? Maybe not. But at least it won't be because I couldn't get that far. I'll get that far and I'll be able to make a good decision. Maybe along the way, I just learned something. I learned a new skill. But I think that mindset, that life is all about build, measure, learn. When you think about relationships with people, relationship is build, measure, learn. Sometimes we test something out. I've pissed off my spouse, right? And then I try something to make things better. I could just try stuff and just keep doing the same thing over and over again, not getting the result that I want. And that just gets me nowhere. Or I can say, every time I try something, measure the outcome. What happened? Did I get a little crack of a smile? Did I break through? Did anything happen here? No, let me try something else. And then, because I learned that didn't work. So I keep on measuring so I can learn and then try something new again, until maybe 5 or 6 attempts later, I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I'm breaking through this person. I think I'm getting to the heart of what the real issue is here, and I'm making progress. And so that mindset or that framework has really helped me out with everything. I do it for business experiments. I do it for ideas I have. Sometimes I have an idea for a talk. So my first thing is where can I go deliver this talk right now to an audience? Because if I can go test that out, I can measure it and then learn something from it. And then the next one will not be the same. So when people happen to, I've had some audience members, people who've attended the beginnings of something new that I've done, where they've been to the first 5, they're like, dude, that changes every single time. I see the changes, and I see how it gets tighter and better and more organized and structured and all that. And I tell them, build, measure, learn. That's literally all I'm doing. I make sure that I never do the same thing twice, because I always want to learn from the last one and I want to make it a little bit better. So I think that's the other one that I would say. So growth mindset and the build, measure, learn framework. These are things we can apply in our personal lives and in our careers. And so that's why I recommend both of these.